Welcome to the Happy Humanoid's Perspective, where your beliefs are challenged, thoughts provoked, and where you may find your happy place whether you like it or not.
And here are your hosts, Edith and Miles. Woohoo!
Woohoo! I like that guy. Woohoo! Welcome to our show, everyone. This is Miles Keever, and I am an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator. And I'm joined tonight by my lovely companion, fiercely independent,
Edith Paul. I'm also an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator. Welcome, everyone, to our 41st podcast.
Yes.
Tonight, the topic will be uncovering the lies of struggle.
What kind of lies? What are you talking about? Lies? There's no lies of struggling. Struggling is hard.
How come it's a lie?
Well,
What does make struggle a lie?
Well, I think it's just this place where we've bought into in this reality about things that really need to be difficult. You've got to struggle to succeed. Life is hard. Like I'm struggling with this thing, and it's like this whole dynamic of, I think it is the tendency of this reality to create resistance against something and to create separation. And by struggling with something, it's like we resist and react to something. It's a struggle. It's like we're not in allowance of that. We're not in any way, shape, or form in allowance or being vulnerable. It's more about pushing up against something. So I think that we create that struggle to create separation. Yeah. So everywhere that we're creating separation as a way to not be who we truly be, will you please destroy and uncreate all of that wild stuff times a godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, book and put all night in shorts, suppose and beyonds. Yeah, what if struggling was not real?
Mm-hmm.
What if, and what brings me to say that is, would an infinite being choose to struggle? You are an infinite being, and in the world of infinite being, would it choose to struggle? Probably not.
It
You could
feels
choose
real.
it. Yeah.
Actually, it feels real.
Yeah, that's the thing. In this reality, struggling is real. It feels real.
Yeah.
And this is where, I look in the dictionary to see what are the definition of struggle.
Mm-hmm.
It's about make strong effort against difficulties. Its struggle will often be against something. We are against something, and from there we're going to create, as you said, resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the definition. Try hard. How many times we say, I didn't try hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what if there's another way you can do this? There's another approach.
Yeah. What if trying hard actually doesn't do it?
Yeah.
That's a big lie. It's like we have this idea that if I just try harder, if I just work harder, I'll be successful. It may not be the case.
What if it's not about trying harder, but trying differently?
Mm-hmm.
Trying something different.
Yeah.
About that.
Choosing something different.
Yeah. Yeah. Another definition is move or make one's way with great effort.
Move.
How much time in our life when we want to make a move, we are going to create a difficulty.
Yeah.
We're going to create, why? Because this is how it is lived in this reality. That's why it's so important to become aware of all that. Mm-hmm. Okay, if I choose to create a struggle in this, what will my life be in 5 years? Mm-hmm. If I continue to struggle with this, what will my life be in 5 years? And it's about asking questions. Is there another way here other than struggling? Mm-hmm. About that? What kind of approach that I could have here that will allow me ease and lightness and fun and joy instead of struggling? So it's really by asking that kind of question, it's about creating new possibilities to open up to a different way, because this is what access is. It's about developing a new way to function in life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a choice. It's a choice. If people desire to struggle, that's a choice too. Yeah. Other definition, hard work. It has to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the other one, the last one, was fighting and conflict. Because struggle brings often a conflict, brings often a fight. We have to fight for something. Yeah. So everywhere you believe that by struggling, you will deserve something, that is the only way to deserve something. It's by the amount of struggle that you invest in it. Will you uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, online short spoils and beyonds. It's interesting. It's like the idea of struggling or not struggling. It's like the idea that if I'm struggling with something, then I need to like not struggle with it, but that's still within struggle. It's like if someone is in poverty and they're wanting to become, say, wealthy, they can't necessarily create wealth functioning from the energy of poverty. So like the idea of, I want to get out of struggle, that's really still within the realm of, there's like that still the dynamic of struggling with struggle, and it's not choosing something different. Instead of like saying, okay, what would it take for me to choose a different path? Or how could this be easy for me? Is different than I want to get away from struggle. I just, cancel clear. I've been struggling all this time, whatever, struggling with this situation or whatever. And what could I do? What questions could you ask that will create a different possibility, not to get out of struggle, but to choose something, to leave struggle where it is, because it doesn't exist. It exists because we create this dynamic of resistance. But what if as we're trying to resolve this lie, we can never get out of trying to fix a lie, because lie doesn't exist. We can't resolve a lie. So it's like choosing something different. So completely leaving the struggle where it is and coming to a fresh perspective and saying, okay, what can I choose today that's going to get the desired result? So it's not having to deal with the dynamics of the lies that we've created about what struggle is. It's more about choosing something completely different and going from that space. So everywhere that we're using the carousel of struggle and lies to keep us on this pathway of always, or on this circle of always in this struggle, in this carnival of struggle, will you destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion, please?
Mm-hmm. Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, online shorts, spoils and beyonds. What if we choose to start struggling, it will require us to choose something other than different, other than the trauma and drama and the intrigue and the, and all of that kind of electrical vibration, because this is what it is. When we struggle, just be aware of the energy that is there. Is it light or is it heavy? It's light. Is it contracted or is it more an expansion? This is contracted. Yeah, this is an electrical vibration. So, and when we choose to let go of the struggle and choose something different, I chose that many times in my life. Instead of struggling, I chose something else. I don't continue to feed that dynamic of electrical vibration. It seems like I choose nothing. I had this impression that I was choosing nothing. Because when we choose, we are so used in this reality to function from that kind of electrical vibration that when we choose something that is more acoustical, the ease, the lightness, the expansion, when we choose, it's more like an acoustical. The acoustical vibration is the acoustical of the being we truly be. It's like this where there's no electrical vibration, where it's like the dolphin. You know, when we listen to the dolphin, the sound, this is the acoustical. So, so everywhere, all the circuit in you, that function from this electrical vibration. Okay, no, it's not that. So all the electrical vibration that is compacted in your circuit, you know, and create and destroy all that times a godzillion.
Yeah, that's right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online short story. There's nothing worse than compacted circuitry. It's like the ultimate downer. If your circuitry is compacted, it's just horrible. Let me just tell you, it's a bad thing.
What do you mean?
Hey, you know, I want to talk about that a little bit more, about what you said about the acoustical energy, and also the struggle. Like, maybe this is a tie-in with what you're saying, maybe it isn't. But there's this idea of doing, like the busyness of doing, and that's like the electrical energy of trying to get something done by doing stuff. And I wonder how much of that is like Gary talked about this recently, about how there's like a resistance or a struggle to this reality, and how much of what we're choosing is a resistance to what this reality is offering. You know, it's like maybe we have an awareness that there's something different, there's something more that we can create, but we don't, for whatever reason, we're not choosing that. We're just continuing to struggle with this reality and try to fix this reality as opposed to choosing something different. It's like, yeah. So I wonder about that. Like, what would it take for us to become aware of, instead of trying to fix this reality, trying to fit into this reality, trying to accommodate and squeeze ourselves into the rules of this reality, becoming aware of the infinite possibilities that we could create from a space of choices and asking questions. And from this space, that takes us out of this limited linear dynamic and more into what else is possible and different possibilities. So everywhere that we're using this reality as a way to struggle and to create the activity that feels like moving forward, but it's really just standing and walking in place and creating a whole lot of dust and making everyone dirty. Will you destroy and uncreate all that times Godzillion, please?
Right and wrong, then that book and put all 9 shirts for us. I like the image here.
It's like Pigpen and the Peanuts thing. Pigpen, how he's always got this dust cloud floating around him, and you're Pigpen, the guy.
Big Ben.
Big Pen.
I don't know.
Okay, well, it's from the Peanuts, the Schultz cartoon. Snoopy and Linus and Lucy and Pigpen is the character. He's always got this like cloud of dirt following him. That's what this reality is like. We try to create and resolve this reality, and it's just like it creates this dust cloud that we can't see anything beyond the dust cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have Peanuts at home when I was young. So
I'll show you. I'll show you who he is.
And we haven't seen it yet. The Peanut movie.
The Peanut movie, yeah.
Yeah. I want to take for us to watch this movie. I want to watch it.
This podcast early. The Peanuts. Well, maybe we'll just finish for it.
Yeah. What are the different lies about struggling? Okay. Sometimes, well, in this reality, there are a lot of people who think the harder it is, it's worthy. We become worthy when we do something and we struggle so much.
Yeah.
So we are so worthy, or we deserve something so much because we struggle so much. So, everywhere you made struggle so significant about your worth or about what you deserve or not.
Yep.
Will you now uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. I have a list here that I put together of the different ways that we could possibly choose to struggle. And how many of these places are we using to create this dust cloud as a delusion or illusion to not create our life? We struggle with time, self-doubt, being happy, change, money, work, relationships, needing to be right, judgments from others, struggle with our weight or our health, being the one who we truly be, and the distractor implants. And I don't remember what the other ones were, creating your own life. So that's a whole lot of ways that we can distract ourselves and not create the life that we desire. And with that, I want to do our theme song for this particular show. Now, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller. Doesn't mean I'm lonely when I'm alone. Doesn't kill you makes a fighter. Footsteps even lighter. Doesn't mean I'm over 'cause you're gone. Yeah.
Yay!
Everywhere that you're on the edge of death to make yourself strong. Like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So everywhere that you're on the edge of death, in order to become strong, will you destroy and uncreate all that times Godzilla?
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Doesn't kill you makes you strong. Oh, sorry.
Other points of view that keep people in the struggle. Well, there are some people who are acknowledged only if they struggle.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't struggle, they're nobody. I am powerful if I do what I have to do, even if I have to struggle. A lot of people will define their power by the fact that they struggle. Hey, what if you can be powerful without struggling? That would be awesome, eh?
Yeah.
It's only through struggling that you will get what you desire. How many have that kind of belief, that point of view? So everything that is, will you uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and puck, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Do you have more?
Yeah, I have a few more.
Okay.
I have to struggle to overcome my obstacle. This is the only way there's an obstacle, so the approach will be to struggle for that.
I got one I want to add in there.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm still struggling with this. You know, you can interpret that as saying, I'm still hanging on to this. I'm still resisting and reacting to this, whatever that is. I'm still struggling with the idea that I'm enough or whatever it is. I'm still struggling with this dynamic with this person or whatever. So
and how much is it about that the people are not ready to let it go?
Yeah, I think that's more. There's some quality or something that maybe we get caught up in thinking that there's some value to hanging on to struggle. It's like there's this idea that if I struggle, like you were saying earlier, Edith, about the amount of labor that I would put into it or the time or the effort, like if I'm still struggling with this concept or whatever, it's like when we finally allow ourselves to have the realization to create something completely different or to let that point of view go, then is it that we feel better, that we've given ourselves permission because we've struggled so much? You know, it's like the idea of, is it 10,000 hours of practice to become an accomplished pianist or violinist or whatever it is, a writer? There's like this number that is required in order for the person to be accomplished in whatever their career that they're choosing. So, yeah, so everywhere that we're using the dynamics, everywhere we're trying to play by the rules of this reality, and it's only creating struggle for us, so we destroy and uncreate all that times godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. You believe that if you don't have to overcome obstacle, you won't achieve anything. How many, when they don't have this idea that if they don't overcome obstacles, that they don't accomplish anything. Hey, what if you don't have to overcome obstacle? What if you have to get around? What if you have to choose a different approach? About because struggle is about in relationship to something. I struggle in my relationship. I struggle to let go of that job. I struggle. It's about always in relationship to something. So it's about being in relation. It's an approach we use to be in relationship with someone or something. So are you ready to choose a different approach, a different energetic dynamic to approach whatever it is, whatever relationship you have in your life, and everything that doesn't allow that, and everything that is, will you create and destroy it all times a godzillion.
That's right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, online shorts, boys and beyonds. And one thing I'm aware of frequently for myself and other people that I see is that we struggle with creating our life. And even though the people that maybe create their life and then they get into a space or a pocket where they get stuck, you know, like, I think that's just common. It's like it seems like that's an ongoing thing. There's all this other stuff about money and work and relationships. And that's still even just part of like creating our life. That's like the bigger thing, is like creating our life is a big deal kind of thing. And what I want to say with that was what's required to, what is it that we're resisting with our, that we can be creating our life? What is it that we're not allowing, or just creating a resistance to, or not becoming aware of, that will ease this process? Like, Edith, we were just watching something about when Gary was talking about when you basically what I heard was when we align, or when we accept who we are, or I'll just say it, when we follow more of who we truly be, then the universe has our back, basically. And the doors open up, and that's one place of getting out of struggle, is really listening to what our heart says that would be fun for us, and what our heart says that we desire to do, and having the courage to follow that, and having the courage to take a chance and see what that would be like. And that's, at that moment, is when the universe begins to have our back. So everywhere that we're not willing to, or afraid of, or like the struggle, in order to not create the life that we truly know that we would love and desire, will you now please destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion?
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pot, online shorts, boys and beyonds. And when we choose to stop struggling, there's really other possibilities that are available for us. And it's about functioning. I remember when I began to ask questions and follow the lightness of, follow whatever was light for me.
Yeah.
There was no struggle in this. There's still no struggle in this. When we follow the lightness, when we follow whatever create more for us. And it's about, for me, it was about trusting. When I ask question to the universe, it's about trusting that whatever I receive, I perceive, and to go with it. And there's no, in that kind of new possibility, there's no, struggle. When we look at it, there's, as I said, a contraction, there's heaviness. But when we choose something other than that, than struggling, there's nothing of that is there. And when we choose to commit to our life and to our life and living, the quantum entanglement will always respond to what is true. So if we struggle, quantum entanglement won't, it's not true. Struggling is not real.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a truth for a lot of people in their life. Why? Because they make it real. They made it real and they're still making it real. And they will have all the justification, they will have all the explanation to say how it's hard and how it's, what if it's about just lower our barriers and choose to approach, to behave differently and everything. And often people have this sensation that they're going to lose something. Hey, what if you're losing is your limitation?
Mm-hmm.
So are you ready to let go of your limitation? So, whoa, everything that is, will you uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and puck, all nice shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, it's like there's this idea that, again, I want to touch on this, like struggling is, there's something that's created from struggle. And it's really just the idea of maintaining one's life. It's not really the creative process. And when I struggle with something, there's this energy that I am aware of that feels like I'm really accomplishing something, like I'm really working at something hard. And yet it seems like I just get deeper in the hole of really not creating my life and just sort of maintaining my life. And so for myself, whenever I struggle with something, I'm going to do this more now because we've had this podcast. I'm going to ask myself, where am I resisting or reacting to something? And where am I not allowing myself to be more aware of a different possibility? Because it really is as simple as that. You know, when the way I see it is just like if I'm struggling with something, then I'm resisting, I'm pushing up against something, I'm creating a boundary, a barrier to keep me unaware and to keep me within this tiny world with my tiny thoughts and my tiny reality, which creates a tiny result of nothing. So everywhere that we're living in the tiny world of lies, of the lies of struggle, will you please destroy and uncreate all that time as a godzillion?
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And another question I would like to add to this, if people desire to follow these questions, is what am I trying to make right here?
Mm-hmm.
Because when we struggle, we often desire to make something right.
Yeah.
Is it our point of view? Is it, it's often a point of view that we desire to make right.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that I am trying here, that I am trying to make right? What is it that I am, am I fighting here? Am I struggling here to make something right? A thought, a feeling, or an emotion? Am I trying to defend something here to make it right? Am I trying to prove something to make it right? So, so that's one of the questions that I invite you to ask yourself about if you are in the middle of a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, when we try to prove or defend something, we are in a space of struggling. We are in a space where we create difficulty. We're not in a space to create infinite possibilities. We're not there. We're there.
We're in the conclusion cube.
Yeah.
It has no entrance, no exit, and it's all sealed.
Yeah. And I remember I told myself, I will finish with this one, and the next one I'll do it. But this one I have to finish it. And I thought that by concluding it, finishing something that I had to prove or I had to defend, I'll be fine. There is this lie too about if I prove something, if I defend something, that we create more. But the only thing that we maintain in place at that time is some limited points of view.
Yeah.
So everywhere you try to prove or defend something, believing that you are creating more for you and for others in your life, well, you now uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Yes, right. Wrong, good and bad, pot and puck on, and shorts, boys and beyonds. I just want to make a quick note here about like judgment. And like for me, it was like I wasn't willing to receive the judgment of others. Like one thing in particular, I would struggle with the idea that people would not get me. They would say something that was not, it was not me at all. It's like it was not, they would not, I just had an example, but I've lost it. But basically, it's like people would try to define me or say something about me that wasn't true. So I was like trying to clear them up and saying that that's not the way it is. You know, this is not the way I think, or whatever it was. I forgot what the example was. But anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, so it's like everywhere that I've tried to defend my points of view about how people see me and what they don't understand me, and I was trying to get people to understand me. That's really that's a long road to nowhere. So yeah, we can stay with the same questions like you were saying. I think is good. Or yeah, everywhere that we're still trying to get people to understand us when we actually don't even understand ourselves from this reality we destroyed and created that times godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, online, shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, so we're already at the end of our show.
That's the end of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you so much for being with us.
And we'll see you again next week.
Yes.
Thanks for listening, and please give us a honk of support by subscribing, commenting, and sharing the show with your friends. Or, if you didn't like the show, please share it with your enemies.
Woo-hoo.
Ciao, baby.
Bye.